The secret to a successful marriage is no secrets. Hi everybody, this is Life with Leonard and welcome to another episode. Now today's episode will help you to create and maintain a successful marriage. And by successful I mean a happy, fulfilling and functional marriage. Now my wife and I is going to be married for about 19 years within the next couple of weeks. And I've also counseled countless marriage couples. I'm a marriage officer myself and a qualified mediator. So I've been around the block. And what I'm going to be sharing with you today is my 5 secrets to a successful marriage. Now marriage requires hard work. You have to do and put in the work. And like anything else, you have to do the work in order to reap the rewards. But before we get to today's episode, please remember to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it, and leave your comments in the comments section below. I'm going to be sharing with you 5 secrets to a happy marriage, but I'm sure you know a lot more. So I'm really looking forward to your comments, and please share your secrets, things that you think that I've missed out. Number 1 is take responsibility. Now most people get married believing a myth that marriage is a beautiful box filled with all the beautiful things that they've longed for all their life. Things like companionship, intimacy and friendship. But the truth is, marriage at the beginning, at the start, is an empty box. And you have to put something in the box before you can take anything out. There's no love in marriage. Love is in people. And people put it into their marriage, into their box. There's no romance in marriage. People have to infuse it into their marriage. A couple must learn the art and form the habit of giving, of loving, of serving, of praising and keeping their box full. And if you take out more than what you put in, your box will be empty. Marriage is a partnership, a joint commitment. And it is your duty, it is your responsibility to take responsibility for the success of your marriage, starting with yourself. This box, if you take out more than what you put in, your box will get empty. And an empty box means an empty marriage. An empty marriage leads to an empty life. And an empty life leads to divorce. And nobody wants that. It requires 100% commitment from each party to this marriage. You can't enter into a marriage with a plan B. You can't fully commit to this marriage, to this relationship, when you have an exit plan from the offset. That is not how it works. You have to fully commit, give it your all, and take responsibility. Now, number 2 is independence. Now, this one can come across as an oxymoron, but you have to give one another space. You are still individuals, separately, but also collectively, that synergy principle. And for me, the best way to explain it to you, and please just bear with me, is really to use the analogy, the example of a triangle. At the triangle, both bottom ends, you get my wife on the one side, and I'm just using me as the example, and me on the other side. So these are 2 individuals on the opposite side of this triangle. And we also know 2 individuals, different backgrounds, trying to find a common ground. And now, we always say that opposites attract. But as human beings, we focus on the attract part of the opposites and not really the opposite. Because we are still quite opposite. And arguments and disagreements are inevitable. But what you need to do, and what I'm doing, my wife been doing for almost 19 years now, is and it works for us, but we find a common ground. And you also have to find, this common ground is so important. And our common ground is my belief, it's my faith, and that is right on top. So right on top of this triangle is my belief and my faith, her on the one side and me on the other side. And in order for us to get closer to each other is to be drawn closer to my belief and my faith and my foundation. And as we draw closer to that, the common denominator, as we draw closer to that, inevitably we get closer to one another. And that's how we make it work. And you too, in your relationship, in your marriage, you have to find a common denominator. Otherwise, it won't work. It is still individuals. And like I mentioned earlier, when opposites attract, we only focus on the attraction and not really the opposite part of these individuals. But the common ground really straightens it out. It makes it so much easier to get along and to make the marriage work. In order to be happy in a relationship, we must be happy first. And that is in fact the key to a successful relationship. With that in mind, wives and husbands must continue to take out time for themselves, enjoy their personal hobbies, and in general spend some time apart. Not only does absence make the heart grow fonder, but in the time we spend alone, we get to reunite with our spiritual side, re-establish our senses of self, and check in with the progress of our personal preferences, our goals and achievements. And next is never take one another for granted. Pay attention to the little things. You know, small gestures carries a lot of weight. And here I talk about small things like respect, like love, caring for one another, being compassionate towards one another, respecting. It's so important towards your husband and your wife. You know, as a man, you are and should always be and remain a gentleman. It didn't stop the day that you put the ring on a finger. And as a woman, you must always remain a lady, a woman of value, of stature, a virtuous woman. Always remember that. It doesn't matter how angry you get. Taking one another for granted may be the most toxic pathogen of all. Once they are comfortable, it is easy for couples to begin to slip into a complacent state and expectations form. This is actually only a matter of human nature. As we get comfortable with what is familiar, but in marriage, you absolutely should never come to a place where you take your partner for granted. Learn to move on from arguments. And remember, I want to add this here for you. And I mean, use it, don't use it. But I know, remember this. It's never about winning an argument. I mean, when you're married to the person, it's never about he say, me say, I win, you lose. It's never about winning the argument, but it's always about winning the person. And number 4 is date nights. Now, amongst all the secrets and the tips to successful marriage, I believe that this one is arguably the most overlooked and ignored by couples, specifically those who've been married for quite a while now. But it is so important. It doesn't matter what a couple does on their date night. Simply having a night when they spend their time just with each other strengthens the bond and maintains it over time. When you have a date night, you should turn your phones off and put them away so that you are free from any distractions. You know, by now you fully understand and know each other. And that's why making a concerted effort to keep the romance and intimacy alive is so important. It ensures that you have a happier and healthier marriage. And I mean, there are endless possibilities on how you can approach this date night and what you can do. And it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. But take it from me, if you have the right attitude and the right mindset, that will open many doors for you. You know, on that point, I did set the age restriction on this video at 18, if I'm not mistaken. Is it? Just check on the thumbnail, or I'll put it just in this section of the video. But you catch my drift. And last but not least is communication. Now, what will a marriage be without it? It goes without saying that communication is one of the cornerstones of any marriage or any relationship for that matter. But yeah, I'm not just referring to any form or any way of verbal communication, because sometimes, you know, some people can be very narcissistic. Their words can be very painful, inflicting a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of division, breaking down rather than building up, adding fuel to the fire. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to respectful communication. Good communication is the backbone of any relationship. It helps you to be connected in your relationship. The biggest advantage of good communication is that it avoids misunderstanding. You have to figure out your partner's love language. So you will always know how to speak to him or her. Love languages are often talked about, but couples don't pay as much attention to it that they should. Understanding a spouse's love language is the secret to a happy relationship. And stop stonewalling. It is incredibly corrosive. It is the act of shutting down during an argument. The person stonewalling stops responding and maintains a calm exterior, which tells their partner that they don't care at all about what they are saying. You are supposed to be comfortable enough to speak to your spouse about anything and everything. And you know, that is such a lovely space to be in when your relationship has reached that level of love. Thank you so much, everybody, for once again joining me on today's episode. I really love spending time with you all, sharing my ideas, my experiences, and my thoughts with you. If you have found value in today's video, can I please ask you to like my video, to share it, and to leave your comments in the comment section below. I've covered 5 secrets to a happy marriage. As I mentioned earlier, I know you know more, and I would like, please share it with us, and I would make sure that I read through it, and I always try to comment and respond to all your comments. I really enjoy spending time with you guys, and if you haven't subscribed yet, can I kindly ask you to please subscribe to my channel. You can just hit that subscriber button in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, and remember to hit the all notifications, and that way you will be notified whenever I upload new videos. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.